Manual tax filing. What does it look like? Please be aware that manual filing is being phased out and should not be completed by taxpayers with annual remuneration greater than $200,000. These persons will only be allowed to file a manual return if instructed to do so by the tax office. Penalties will be applied otherwise. We encourage everyone to register to e-file at www.etax.gov.pm. Persons currently eligible to file manually must complete the Form PR1 payroll tax return, which can be collected from the Office of the Tax Commissioner. Form PR1 is divided into three parts. Part 1 calculates the employer portion of tax. Part 2 calculates the employee portion, and Part 3 is the total of Parts 1 and 2 and shows total tax owed. Some sections of the form will not apply to you or your business, so be sure to follow the instructions and only complete what is relevant to you. If you would like to review how to calculate the employer and employee portions, see Part 3 illustration of a payroll tax calculation and Part 5, Employee Portion Calculator. Let's look at Dean's manual tax return as an example. When Dean completes his tax return, he makes sure to complete the first page, which includes his unique 9-digit tax identification number, the quarter in which he is filing, and other pertinent information relating to his company. He moves on to Part 1, Employer Portion. In Section A, he completes the details for his employee who is paid monthly. You will remember in Video 3 of this series, Dean's employee's total salary for the quarter was $18,000 with a $1,000 bonus. This information is included on line 1 and 4 with the sum total on line 14. As the owner of the company, Dean's quarterly remuneration of $30,000 must be declared in Section B. In Section E, which is completed by all taxpayers, shows the sum total that Dean's company paid in remuneration for the quarter, $19,000 for his employee plus Dean's $30,000 equals $49,000. Now we can determine the employer portion tax rate for Part 1. Since Dean's company's quarterly remuneration is less than $50,000, he will pay a tax rate of 1% for the employer portion. Dean will therefore complete Section F, multiplying $49,000 by 1%, showing $490 for the employer portion of tax. Now we can move on to Part 2. The employee portion of tax. Dean and his employee's remuneration is calculated using the progressive tax rates. To simplify the process, Dean has used the employee portion Excel spreadsheet to calculate the employee portion of tax for him and his employee and has copied that information onto his return. To understand how to calculate the employee portion, view Part 5 in this tax series. His employee's remuneration fell into Band 2 with a tax payable of $707.48. Dean's remuneration is in Band 3 with a tax payable of $1,769.98. The employee portion sum total in this section is therefore $2,477.45. Now that we have calculated both the employer and employee portion, we can determine the total tax payable this quarter under Part 3. Dean will report $2,967.45 for the quarter, which includes $490 in the employer portion and $2,477.45 for the employee portion. He will attach payment with his return and take the form to the cashier at the Government Administration Building on Parliament Street, Hamilton.